Okay, we're looking at the ear from the side. So for this, you're going to first get a height, and you want the height to be about the same length as your index finger, so several inches. And based off the height, you can compare the height to the width. You can either measure this or you can eyeball it. And I'm choosing to eyeball it. So I'm looking closely at the shape of the ear. And I'm thinking of it kind of in angular terms, so it's more like a geometric ear at first. And if you look up there, I'm sighting the angle on the side of the ear. And the ear, where it attaches to the head, is at an angle. So here's that angle there for where it attaches to the head. It's not a vertical line, it's slightly angled. That line that I placed there, that angled line where the ear attaches to the head, that's going to be erased out later. So you're getting basic gesture of the ear. Okay, so I am going to the picture of the ear, and on the picture of the ear, I'm making a line dividing the ear in half, and I'm doing that horizontally. So it's not a vertical like we did on the face, it's a horizontal line. That's to help determine like the placement of where things end up, and a halfway point is a good place to check. So now you're going to start to handle those folds within the ear. Those are called the helix, is the outer fold. So that's what we're defining right now. And I'm looking closely at the top half of the ear, comparing it to the top half of the reference picture. Then I'm going to swoop down into the bottom. So I'm breaking these down into simple shapes. The nice thing about the ear is it has a lot of lines. It's not like the nose where you're doing a lot of shading to mold the shape of the nose. This is all, a lot of it is line. And I'm looking at those and I'm seeing them as shapes. Okay, so this part of sped up, what you're doing is you're looking for shadows. So underneath the helix there's a shadow. Inside the ear, towards the canal, there's a shadow there too. That's an even deeper shadow. Okay, we are going to address the area around the ear as well. It'll give us a chance to practice cast shadows beneath the ear. There's usually a cast shadow there. And also it'll help us to practice drawing hair. So you're only thinking in terms of the darks right now. You're trying to find those darks. And you'll notice there's a dark area, a shadow area right on the hair, right behind the ear. The local value of the hair is kind of a darker midtone, or it's a midtone with some shadows on it. When you shade the hair, you're going to want to go the direction of the hair. So if the hair is curving around the head, you're going to have to make your hair curvy. If it's kind of lying flat, you'll have to draw it in that direction. So I took a moment off camera to erase that angled line that we used where the ear connects up to the head, to the face. So it's erased out, and there's a little bit of a shadow there that I lightly put in. And now you're going to suggest where the hairline starts. The hair itself actually is casting a little bit of a shadow there onto the skin. That's why there's a shadow there. And again, think about the direction of the hair here. So I was looking at the direction of the hair, how it kind of curves. I'm going to try and copy that. It's hair that's being swept behind the ear, and it's longer hair. And just like with any other object that we draw, there's going to be shadows within the hair, there's going to be midtones, and there's going to be a little bit of highlights. Not the type of highlights that you get at a salon. That's not what we're talking about, just lighter areas within the hair. You can also use your eraser to pull out highlights too. So you want to give it some texture. Okay, so now we're going to start to put in the whites. And remember, the white doesn't necessarily mean a white area that you can see on the reference. It means a light area. So there are occasions where you won't have any white, like say for instance on the ear if it's all in shadow. But in this case, there is a little bit of light. So you're going to look for the light, where it's hitting, and you want to try and determine where it's hitting the most. And I think when I'm looking at that reference photo that it's right on the top part of the ear, right on the helix, right on that rim there. I think that's the brightest area. That's the area that I'm shading in right now. And it's almost better to start off really light, and you want to make that kind of fade into the gray of the paper as it curves around the ear, because it's really only on the top part. On the rest, it kind of just fades into the skin tone, the gray of the paper. And there's a little bit of white light pocket right inside in between the inner helix there. You just want to think about that everyone's ear is a little bit different. They're individualized. You want to be observant when you're drawing someone's face, and if there's ears included, you want to draw them correctly. A lot of people will kind of skip on the ears, or they won't give enough information, and that will look visually awkward. So just went ahead and skipped to the end, and here's pretty much the finished piece.